Good morning, everyone. Hope your Friday is good. Hope your week was good. And I hope you have a great weekend. Thank God it's Friday art time. And give me just a sec to get my computer up to speed. And we will get started. Say hello if you're out there. Just making sure my my volume's all the way up. I'll try and speak up. Don't know why it takes so long to show up on my computer. It's crazy. There we go. All right. We are good. And I'm trying to get more light. I've been moving around my lights, so hopefully it's not too much glare. Like I said, I've just given it a second to show up. Oh, there's a little bit of glare there. Let's see. Is that any better? Okay. Well, let's get started today. So, I am using from Stencil 1, the heart stencil today. I don't know which way is the right way, but this way looks better to me. So we'll start with that. I'm also going to be using the True Blue marker on the light side, but you could use any. I guess I'll use the medium. I always tend to use the light side. And then I am using the Waterfall Stickles, which is that pretty blue. It looks like our color of the year. Okay. And then I just have a piece of cardstock that is 2 by 5.5. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put that down. I'm going to take this down just a wee bit on both sides, on both ends. And then I'm going to figure out which hearts I like. This is just all personal choice. So you can do a kind of a lot, a little. Actually, I don't think I'm going to move this because it seems to be interfering with my bottom hearts. There we go. Okay. There we go. And I like them to be a little bit off of the page. So that looks good. A couple more pieces of washi tape to hold stuff down. Alright, so I'm going to take the medium and I am just going to trace. I'm just tracing and coloring in. Okay. Now, I believe that I did this last time, but this is just a little tweak. I mean, this stuff is just what you want to try. Just play with it. And I won't do all of this because I have a finished one that I did in light blue, which better matches our color of the year. But I thought I would do this a little bit darker so you can maybe see it a little bit better. Give it a little more contrast. Well, I might as well finish them now. I just won't do the other part, so hopefully you're not too bored. And I'm just lightly going around. I'm not putting a whole lot of pressure because I don't want it to bleed through too much. I mean, it is a stencil and a marker, so, you know, it is what it is, right? Okay, we're almost done. And I haven't made cards out of all of the things that I'm showing you today, but I will later today, and I will put them on as soon as I'm done. Okay, so we start with that. That is the True Blue marker. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. Save that for the next one. And I am going to pick this up for just a second. And wiggling my camera. And just for the sake of not wanting to blend one color into the next, lots of paper towels around, get all that ink off, get all that water up, and you know, your stencils are probably going to get a little stain. That's good, it means you're using them. Okay, so we'll take that out of the way for a sec. Bring in our just blue, and you can see that it's kind of a little bit tweaked here and there, and that's what the next step's for. We're going to take our Stickles. Now, something to remember. If you can see it, it's going to flow better than when you go against it. Does that make sense at all? Hopefully it does. So, I am going to get it started, and I'm going to go just where I can have it come out smoothly. You see that? Hopefully you can. And then I'm going to turn it so that way I can finish it up and see how much of a nice, I can still have glare, a nice covered heart we have. So I'm going to do just a couple more. And then Stickles is something that I've seen and heard and found that you don't really want to dry because it'll puff up and stuff. I mean, maybe you want that look. But I would just set it aside and dry, let it dry by itself. So, depending on how thick you are, you know, it's going to take a little while to dry. So I'm going to do one more, and then we'll move on. So just turn it to where you can see and make a nice shape. And there we go. Okay, so hopefully you can see all that nice shine. And what do we do with this piece? Well, here is the one I did earlier that's dried now. And this was the light color. This is the medium color. And I will make a sample of something and we will move on. I will let this dry. And here we go. So we'll put another piece down. Again. And our stencil. I'm still going to use the heart this time. One more time. That sounds like a song. One more time. Oop. The washi tape kind of came up around it. Okay. So I'm just trying to get it to where the washi tape is not interfering. Alright. Take this down. And now, what we're going to do is we're going to pull in some colors. So I have, no we're not, we're going to pull in these colors. Getting ahead of myself. So this is the oxide ink in the picked raspberry and antique linen. Okay, so we're going to put a little bit of color on our all-purpose mat. That's all I'm going to say. You need something. Okay, and now I'm going to take a water brush. It's got water in it. It's nice and wet. I'm going to make a little puddle of that color. Wipe it off. Pull in a little bit of this color. And make a custom color. Here's the one I did before. I'm just checking it on a piece of cardstock. I'm going to give it just a squeeze and put some water. There we go. A little more pink. Okay. So now we're just going to paint with our watercolor or our oxide ink. If it gets too wet, just dab it off because this is not watercolor paper. So just dab it off from time to time. If it's getting a little bit light, then go back in. And I kind of want these to be different shades of the pink. Okay. And you see I kind of moved because I don't want all of the darks to line up. So that's why I moved over a bit. And again, it's getting wet, so I tap it off. Come in and pull in some more color. Still a little wet. Tap it off. Okay. We're just about done. Now this I'm going to have to dry with the embossing tool, or you can just set it aside to dry. But I need it to be ready for the next step, so a piece of paper towel or something in that one. There we go. Alright. Clean off your watercolor or your brush. Okay. And then again, we're going to pick up our stencil. And our paper. Gotta do some cleanup, so we'll put that back there for a second. Alright, so cleanup's really easy. You just wet it. I can't even see where it was. Oh, over here. Okay. Paper towels. Wet, just a dry rag would work. We'll do this first. Okay. Set that aside. Pick up our ink mess. Okay. Make sure it's good and dry. And now, here's what it looks like. It's just a soft coloring. And I'm going to heat it up. I'm going to turn on the heat tool. And I like to dry the front a little bit. When it starts curving up, then I turn it over. And then I can see if there's anywhere that's really wet, and there's not. So just a little bit will do ya. There we go. That didn't take long. Alright, so now what are we going to do with it? Well, we are going to, let's see, yes, position this back down. Had to think for a minute. Okay, we're going to take our stencil. Oh, this will be fun. Guess I shouldn't have done that. Oh, this is going to be difficult. Okay. Anybody remember which ones they were? Oh, that's close. Wow, this is awkward. Oh, I keep pulling up my tape. Alright, well, we will just wing it. Where's that one that was pretty similar? This one? This one. I guess we're going to have to do some pretending. Everybody good with that? Okay, it must be one of these because that one's got some paper on it. Alright, we're just going to pick one. As I say that. Okay, maybe not move your stencil so far away, right? Goodness gracious me. Let's see. Alright, I just need to find one that sort of matches. Okay, this one's pretty close. How come I can't find it? Oh, now I'm talking to myself. Okay, well, we're going to forgo that. I'm going to try a different way, right? So what I would do is line it back up. And I'm going to pull out the embossing ink pens. And there's 3 of them. There's a brush one, a broad tip one, and the medium. So there's the three kinds. Okay, and I'm going to use this medium one, which is a little more of a fine tip. Okay, and they're pink in color, so you can see where they are. And okay, this one's pretty good. Let's use this one. So let's say that they're all lined up. I'm going to take my, actually let's just freehand it. So you can either freehand it like so, and we don't need this, and we don't need this. Oh, hold that thought. Yeah. Okay. It's one of those Fridays. Oi. So, pretend I didn't do that. I'm going to put my little static pouch on because we're going to be embossing this. Alright, go over it. And I found that you could do quite a few of these, but I didn't want it to dry out, so I'm just going to do a few. That many. Put your lid on your cap. I have a paintbrush if I need it, and some silver embossing. And I did get a little bit on there. Okay. Okay. Move this out of the way and emboss this. You see there's still a couple there. Oh. Don't mind that. Okay. Alright, so here we go. Let's heat this up. I let it get warm first, or you can put it underneath until it gets warm. That way it doesn't blow any of your powder away. And once it starts going, then I put it up here. And it's so pretty to watch that turn from that kind of gray to the shiny silver. Kind of the matte color to the shiny silver. And I tend to go kind of from every angle. Right? So there we go. It's kind of filled in a little bit. So you can kind of mix and match your colors. You can put whatever embossing powder you want. And the card that I made, flip your stencil over maybe. Oh, that would have been a good thing. Okay, am I live again? I'm just waiting to see if I'm live again. Hi, Linda. Good to see you. Alright, I think, let's see. I had an interruption in my live, so let's see. Okay, good. I think it's still there. Wow, technology, right? So here's the card I made. Excuse me. And it's the lovely paper and the ballerina pink and the color that I made from the antique linen and picked raspberry. And there we go. Moving on. Alright, so now, and I'm still using these 2" by 5.5 pieces. Okay. Get some of this out of the way so I don't bump into that embossing powder. That would be a mess. Okay. So now we are going to pull in these 3 colors, which are Spiced Marmalade, Abandoned Coral, and Seedless Preserves. Okay, and the lids just fall off. And we're going to do some of the normal blending, okay? So I'm starting with a lighter color. And I tend to go off the page, not the page. See, you don't get that circle, but you have to blend out. But these are nice and forgiving, and they blend out very nicely. So we'll just let it have its circle shape until we get rid of it. Okay, next, and this one for some reason is just really, oh, I think I've gotten some of it off. Some of the pads, see that? I just barely touched it, and some of them are so juicy. So be careful of that. That's why it's always a good thing to tap it off on a little paper and see what you got. So I'm going to go back to the first color and kind of blend that in. Okay, on to the next one, which is a new color I haven't used. And I'm going to use my paper towel so I don't get fingerprints. That's what somebody said to do. And we'll put this pretty color down. Love that color. I love these three colors together. And again, I'm going to go back to that medium color that I used. Okay, so there's a pretty palette, right? I'm going to use these again, so I'm just going to set these out of the way. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of the color on here so it doesn't transfer anywhere I don't want it to. Okay, and then we need to heat set that. Well, actually, I'm going to try not heat setting it. Alright, and I'm going to pick a different stencil from that stencil 1 paper. And I'm going to pick this mandala, I guess is how you say it. And I'm going to set this, wherever. Let's do it a little different this time. Okay. Alright. So I'm going to set that on there. And I'm going to spray the heck out of it. Like so. Okay. Give it a little bit to work. And then pull it up. I'm going to set that aside. Do my cleanup. Okay, so we don't have any transfer of color. Set that aside. And now let's dry this just a little bit and see what we get. Remember, it starts to curl on you, just turn it over. And it helps it to go flat again. Alright. So, there we go. What do you think of that one? And here's the first one that I did. So you can see they're a little bit different. But I love the effect of that. Isn't that pretty? You can make some gorgeous backgrounds. Okay, and like I said, I will make some cards out of these and show you just a little bit later. Moving on, we're going to get another piece of our 2 by 5.5, and we're going to use those same colors that we had. And this time we're going to use the last stencil in that 3-pack, which is this pretty one. And let's see. Let's tape this down. Well, I don't think we can. We'll tape the stencil down. Okay, so just pick whatever you want. I kind of want some this way, I think. That's the hardest part, is picking what you want it to, how much you want to be on there. Okay. Okay, let's do that. So I have somewhere to hold. I'm going to start with my lightest color again. Add a little bit there. And then the next color, I'm going to just kind of blend it in. kind of pounce it rather than move it around too much so it doesn't go anywhere on you. And the last color, oh shoot, and of course I moved it, but that's okay. There we go. Wasn't too bad. It's one of those days, you guys. Oh my goodness, I should have just stayed in bed. Alright, I think I want a little bit more of this color, just to kind of break it up a little bit. Blend it in. Okay. Alright, so now I'm not going to clean this off yet. Here's what you get. Isn't that pretty? Just love the look of that. And you can blend as much as you want or as little as you want. You can see over here it's kind of speckly, and over here it's a little more blended. But the trick I'm going to do is cover these up and move those aside. Get another piece of paper, take my yucky stencil, spray it down, and this has been referred to as smooching. And we're just going to lay that back on there. And kind of the negative, we're going to use the negative. And look at that. We use whatever's left, and we get a negative on there. So again, it's time to clean up the stencil. Set that one aside. Oops, that's some wet there. Okay, let's dry this off quick, and then I'll show you. And when it's warm, if you just hold it a second, it'll flatten it out. Okay. So there's what you get. And here's the first two I did. Again, I will make, this has got a little bit more color. Not much more. But it smooshed a little better. So there we go. And I will make some cards and put them in the video down below. And we have one more today. So, can anybody tell me how big the paper is? I need those colors. Love the combination. Yes, I know, right, Linda? Yes, yes, Peggy, it is gorgeous, right? I love those colors. They are Seedless Preserves, Abandoned Coral, and Spiced Marmalade. Okay, one more piece. And we are going to go. And seems like I better tape stuff down heavily, huh? Alright, let's try and tape this down so that doesn't move. We're going to put our stencil back on. Move this over just a smidge. Close enough. Okay. Let's tape down this really good, shall we? In fact, I'm going to get another piece of washi tape. It's just old washi tape that I had. Okay, maybe one more. I'm telling you, it's not my day. All right. Let's sit down here. So now I'm going to take the Melissa Esplin markers. They're for journaling, for like calligraphy writing, and they have a really nice kind of bendable tip to them, so you don't have to press down hard. And what I'm going to do is just outline, hold down your stencil. I'm going to skip that one because it's kind of covered up. And I'm just going to go around, and I'll just do a few of these because I did make a card with this one. And I'm going to trace these. And turn your marker from time to time so you don't make a flat spot on the marker. Okay? It's better to draw it. That was good. Draw it one side and then the other so you don't bend over the tip. And see, I'm turning as I go on to the next one. And I won't do all of these. Well, maybe I will for this part. So I'm just creating an outline for myself. Kind of like when you're coloring and you color the outline first and then you color it, fill it in. And that's what we're going to do. Believe me, this morning I did not have all of this overage going on. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Okay, almost done. And we'll move on to step 2. Yes, there's a step 2 to my madness. And again, I saw we've had some extravaganza teachers teaching us some of our new product from the core catalog and just some of the new products. And that's where I've gotten some of these ideas. Okay, so now, has anybody done Zentangle? This is kind of a Zentangle thing. So I'm just going to draw a line and I'm just not even going to care. I'm just going to straight line down the middle, curve 2 lines. Straight down the middle, curve 2. Okay, and I'm doing that to these outside ones. Okay, so all these ones here. And Melissa Esplin has colored markers as well. So you could actually outline in one color and do, you know, each flower a different color. Should be kind of cool. Okay, so for this one, I'm just going to vary my line a little bit, and I'm going to go kind of sideways, and then just add some more in. Everything is sideways. Just kind of keep it going the same way, or not. That one decided to be an or not. And just fill it in. Zentangle, look it up. It's really cool. You can get some great ideas. Pinterest has a bunch of Zentangles. In fact, I have a Zentangle one that you can click on Facebook and look at my Zentangles I've saved. This is all I am doing. Okay. Ta-da! A little bit more there. Alright. So again, that's the Melissa Esplin. And you get 2 or 3 black ones in the kit. If you buy the one that has the colored ones too. Alright, so there's what that looks like. And again, I'm going to set this aside, take off my washi tape, and you can see all that black that's left on there. So in order to not get that black transferring to the next thing I want to do with this stencil, you want to spray it off as quick as you can, you know, and wipe it down. You can use baby wipes, paper towels, just a rag. And we are clean again. All right. So, set that aside. And where'd you go? Oh, over here. This is what we made. And I use the October stamp of the month for the happy birthday. And I use the new cinnamon color. And I made a happy birthday card. There we go. What do you think? And this is just a little tiny 1/8 inch strip that I put in between on top of these two. So that is what I have to show you today. Here's some of the other ones again that we did. There we go. I hope you like them. I hope you'll give them a try. And have fun and have a great weekend. And if you do, I'd love for you to put them in this thread in the comments. Send me a picture of what you came up with or what you tried, and let me know what you tried, so that way if I like it I can reproduce it. Have a great weekend. Bye guys.